I did mention earlier that I've got special guests here. Now, I didn't want to give too much away because this is great. You're going to love this. First of all, let's say hi to Neve of Walk Your Way Well. It's been too long. What's going on?
I know. I've just been walking so much, Dougie, that I haven't had time to pop in and visit you.
And you've just got back.
Just got back. I actually did. I did a 3-day hike this week. So, yeah, finished that yesterday. Legs are a bit stiff and really happy to be in here today, as always. But really happy to be in here today to tell you a little story about these two legends that you have in the studio with you today.
It's quite unbelievable, but go on.
So, these guys are, and you know I'm a big fan of the Camino Santiago.
Exactly.
These guys are going to tackle the Camino Santiago, but not in any old manner. They're going to do it from their front door. Their front door is in Javea.
Right.
That means Santiago is 1,200 kilometres away. And so therefore they're going to have a very long walk ahead of them over the next couple of months, and I'm just so proud and so excited to bring them in today so they can tell you a little story about the who and the why and the when. Basically I'm here to promote something, and that is that on the 20th of October, which is this Sunday, we're going to have a little party. We're going to have a little bon voyage party, buen camino, to Gwendoline and Glenn. And I'd love for gangs of people to come along and have some cake. We're going to have tarta de Santiago.
You had me at cake.
I know, right? That's the only reason I'm going. And we're going to have coffee, drinks. We're going to have live music. And I just think that this challenge is so inspiring that we should give them the biggest and best send-off that we can. So if anybody would like to come on Sunday and have some fun with that, they can get information on the Walk Your Way Well kind of Facebook and Instagram and all that. Now, all funds raised on that day, so the cake is sponsored and the coffee is sponsored and the drinks are all sponsored. Anything we can sell on that day, all the money goes to Cancer Care Javea. And these two fantastic walkers, hikers, pilgrims, whatever you want to call them, or whatever you guys want to call yourselves, I'm sure you'll explain. They're also fundraising for Cancer Care Javea. So not only are they doing it as a personal challenge and a dream come true, they're also creating an amazing amount of awareness around the charity Cancer Care Javea, which is local to us here in this community, and looking for people to donate a few quid as well to help the nursing team who do such great work in the community. So that's my piece said, basically. And I'm going to give this seat up to Glenn and let them take over and give you a chance to talk, because you know what I'm like when I get a mic.
Well, yeah, I was about to say if I could get a word in, but...
I'm off then. Thanks for that, Dougie.
You know I'm only joking. We love you. Now, okay, so we've got Glenn and Gwendoline. Did I get that the right way round? No, obviously. Now, you know, the Proclaimers once said, I would walk 500 miles and then I'd walk 500 more. But, you know, OK, there is a difference between kilometres and miles, but I think you're going to do better than them, because if they'd have carried on where they were in Leith, they would have drowned. They didn't think it through. But you obviously have.
Well, we thought it through. We're certainly not going to go too far beyond Santiago, otherwise we will start to cross the Atlantic.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it is. We tried to view it in terms of kilometres, because we now live here in Spain. We've been here for a long, long time. We lived in Galicia, as it so happens, since 2001, when we went to work there, and it was going to be a 1-year working program. The project went on and on and on, and eventually, sometime in the millennia 2000, we were lucky enough to retire, and we were living up there. We sold everything in England, and so we said, where do we go now? And what did we do? We bought a yacht and did some sailing around the Rias of Galicia. And then one day, my dear lady wife here, Gwendoline, she's the one with the trousers, I'm the one with the dress, by the way.
Okay.
She said, why don't we sail around the Mediterranean? I said, what a great idea. I'll just go and close the front door and we'll be off. And then, when we got down here, 6 years after sailing around, we're living here for 4 years in Javea, and she says to me one day, why don't we walk back to Galicia? And I said, have you been taking something, dear? That was it.
And that is how it's all started.
Yes, we sailed away and we're walking back, basically.
Okay, so what actually started all this, really?
I think because we had parents-in-law living in Javea and we were living in Galicia, and we were constantly whizzing across Spain, taking a different route each time. We love Spain. We love the country. It's so varied and beautiful. And we never had time to look at it. So we kept saying, one day we'll walk this, and just take our time. So we're not rushing this. We're expecting it to take us 4 months. If it takes us 6, it doesn't matter.
So when you say walk this, you did actually mean the Camino de Santiago?
Well, that is a very easy way to walk, because if ever there's a choice, there's a little yellow arrow to tell you which way to go, isn't there, or a shell?
Thank goodness for that. I think I'd get lost, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something I've been meaning to do forever, but, I mean, it's taken you till... Come on,
now.
Can we say how old you are?
I can say how old he is, because he's older than me. He's 78.
Well, I mean, 1,200 kilometres.
Well,
78. Have you been in training? Clearly,
we have been in training. It's fair to say, but if we stopped and thought about 1,200 kilometres too much, I think we wouldn't be here talking to you today.
Right.
The reality is, it's like life as it is. What happened a few minutes ago, forget about it.
What did Winston Churchill say?
Churchill, yes, he had a good line that went. How did it go now? No, it's a mistake to plan too far ahead. We must deal with each link in the chain of destiny one at a time. And I think that's a very nice idea, because if we start thinking about Toledo or Avila right now, it will probably walk out of the front door, trip over and break my leg. So there.
Okay. It's BayRadio International, and the video's going to look a bit different now because I've remembered to put the new lights on. If you're listening to this, it's bright. Trust me. Anyway, we're talking to Gwendoline and Glenn, who are walking 1,200 kilometres on the Camino de Santiago in aid of cancer care. So, where did we get to? We didn't leave the front door yet.
Certainly haven't got to Santiago yet, that's for certain.
I think we were saying 1,200 kilometres and the 500 miles. I think it's about 750 miles. But we love kilometres because you get them under your belt so much faster, don't you? Miles take ages to walk.
Absolutely. So have you had some good advice from Arnie from Walk Your Way Well?
Indeed, we have, yes. Just sort of listening to our bodies, taking note of every twinge, but there are so many.
Neve, can I pull you back in here to share a microphone just for a sec? Sure. You don't have to go anywhere.
Musical chairs today in the studio.
Go on. So basically, what is the main advice?
I would have 2 pieces of advice on something this mammoth.
Yeah.
And when I say listen to your body and be aware of all those twinges, aches, pains, they're all messages being sent by your body to let you know what condition you're in. Now, obviously, we all have the usual aches and pains. We all get up in the morning and that stretch and you can feel everything. So I'm talking about aches and pains or twinges that you're not usually accustomed to. So anything extra or anything that you feel is sending you an extra message, don't ignore it. Take heed, because we've spoken about this before, haven't we, that it's not a race. It is very much the journey. So if you need a day's rest, 2 days rest, whatever you need, take it, because there's no point pushing through pain. And the reason I'm very, very adamant on this is because I did the opposite.
Because you've done the whole thing.
I did not listen to the messages, and I messed myself up. I ruined my feet. The blisters became beyond the beyonds. I ended up doing 4 days in my bare feet because I literally would not listen and would not stop and rest. And I don't think anybody needs to do that. I don't know what I was trying to prove to myself. There's nothing to prove on a Camino de Santiago.
What do you need to do to avoid your feet getting completely blistered up?
I guess, the guys will have their shoes completely and utterly broken in. And once again, things like wearing a shoe size that's one size bigger than your usual shoe size so that your feet can expand in the heat, making sure you've got socks that are very friendly with your skin type on your feet, taking as many breaks as possible, air your feet where possible. Some people use Vaseline, some don't. There are foot products. Make sure you've lots of Compeed. Whoever invented Compeed, they're those blister plasters is well on their way to a comfortable lifestyle, shall we say. So yeah, make sure you've got your Compeed, and like I say, listen, feel it. If you get a tiny burning, if you get a little message from that baby toe, stop and deal with it and give it the attention and love and TLC that it deserves. So that's really just on a physical front. I think on something this long, over a period of such great distance and time, another piece of advice I would say to the guys is it's okay to have time alone. Mm-hmm. It's okay to say, today I'm going to walk ahead. I'm going to take a couple of hours and just be alone. It's okay to be alone at times, because the intensity on a Camino Santiago in difficult conditions can be a lot. And any relationship, whether you're married or not, or it's just a friendship. And so therefore I think having that space, and I think you guys are so, you're such a fantastic relationship, you know this already, that together is wonderful, but it's also okay to tackle little sections alone. Just because, you really don't want to start getting on each other's nerves if you're having to do 4 months on the road together.
Well, they do say you're going to find yourself, and you'll no doubt find things out. I mean, you've been together how long?
Well, can I just say that we were 6 years on a 40-foot boat, non-stop.
I was going to say, because that's quite intimate.
You couldn't go off walking on your own there.
That was a real test for any relationship, a 40-foot boat. Well, it was a centre cockpit boat as well, which is distinct from the usual ones which are at the rear. So if we had a row in the centre of the boat and said, that's it, I've had it, I'm off, you had 20 feet to go one way or 20 feet the other way. That's a very good way of stopping an argument and saying, oh, well, I'll go and say I was wrong anyway. Get on
which
with the
you
same.
usually were.
Yes, okay. Sorry
Let's not start all that.
Yes, I like the idea of that time alone. Yes,
I'll just jump in. When I walked with my little son Oscar, who never stops talking, even more than me, we had the 100-metre rule. And if it just got too intense for both of us and we just needed some space, it would be shout 100 metres, and that meant just a little space, just some peace and quiet, and it worked wonderfully. We both respected that rule really well. Obviously, he was little, so I couldn't put him too far ahead. I had to have my eye on him. So 100 metres worked for us. It was a great
I like that. It's a good idea. Yeah, maybe 100 kilometres.
I've got a message here. It says, morning, Dougie. Please tell your guests, walking the Camino, they will have a wonderful experience and will get as much out of it as the people they're doing it for. It's tough physically and mentally, and far more than just a walk. Time constraints don't allow me the time to walk the entire distance, but I've done the first section and the last 2, leaving 3 more to do. I wish them buen camino, and this is from Jane in Oliva.
Thank you, Jane in Oliva. That's very nice.
Yes.
Bless her.
Yeah.
Let's quickly go over where we can help raise money again. Now, there's a bit of a shindig coming up this Sunday, isn't there?
Yeah, it's actually, you don't have to walk. We are leaving Javea at 9:45, say 9:45, to walk the 10 or más o menos kilometres to Jesus Pobre.
Yep.
If you don't want to do the walk, then you can go straight to Jesus Pobre and just party. And that's at 12 till 2, yeah, at, what's the address?
Casa del Señoret, Neve's house.
Neve's house. It's
Yeah.
Neve's house, and there's
Which
live
is a bit of a party
music.
venue these days.
Oh, yeah, you know me.
Go on.
Yes, the meeting point is by the Tourist Information Office in the port. There'll be lots of people there, so I'm sure that people will figure out where the walk starts.
Perfect, excellent. And there's going to be cake.
And there's cake at the end of it, yes.
We're going to have our cake and we're
And
going to
eat
eat
it.
it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Listen, I wish you both well, and make sure you heed all that advice, because somebody that knows.
We have the greatest respect for Neve, and we've listened to everything she said, and I hope that we don't get any blisters or need to pay any attention to all the good advice she gave us.
Well, quite. Listen, I wish you all the luck in the world from all of us here at BayRadio, of course. And it's a fantastic cancer care charity that you're doing it for. So it just leaves me to say congratulations in advance, because I know you're going to do it.
Thank you, Dougie.
Perfect.
Thank you.